So we're talking about February 2019. We have a full moon, a new moon, we have Mars changing signs, we have some Jupiter aspects, and a lot of other cool stuff, so check it out. Okay, so I'm making this video about February 2019. You can see that we start the month with the Moon, Saturn, and Venus in Sagittarius. Now I have this set for 8:24 Pacific time on these days. Of course, if you're in Europe and in the East, you want to add about 10 12 hours or whatever it is. So I do my best. And I'm doing general, this is an overview of 2019, of February 2019. I do daily forecasts based on the Tithi, the Vara, the Lord of the Day, the lunar phase, the Nakshatra, as well as the Rashi that the moon is in and that the planets are in. At my website, astrologytraininglab.com, you can go there, only 50 cents, and get those daily forecasts for a couple weeks and see if you want to stay a member. I have people that are members for years. But this is just an overview to show you how, what to expect from February 2019 in general. So as I say, we start February 1st and 2nd. The moon is in Capricorn. On the 1st, it's Triadashi, which is the 13th lunar day, and it's joined Saturn and Venus. So there's going to be that intense focus of Saturn in Sagittarius, like I've been talking about, and also Venus. The joy of Venus and the beauty of Venus will all be influencing the moon at the beginning of February. So, they're in Sagittarius. So again, this is that sort of hopefulness of Sagittarius with the firm reality of Saturn bearing down on us and the desire for beauty and harmony of Venus the first couple days. On Triadashi and Chaturdashi, which is the 14th lunar day, as the moon is getting closer to new. And then on February 3rd, you see, we have this, it's still the beginning of Chaturdashi on the first day. And then on the 4th, we have the Amavasya, or the new moon. So February 4th, we have the new moon, and this is where we start that new cycle. And it's in Capricorn. And again, Capricorn is where we have to make peace with our, with our long-term decisions and decide what to focus on and what to commit to for the foreseeable future. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, reflecting internally, psychologically, and emotionally. And it's where we have a relationship with silence and stillness, hopefully, meditation. All of those things are great virtues, and we notice our capacity to do those things in Capricorn. So we've had Ketu in Capricorn, Sun and Moon and Mercury will now be in Capricorn on February 4th, February 3rd and 4th and into the 5th. So these will be important lessons on those days. And of course we have the new moon starting that 30-day cycle of Capricorn on February 4th. And then February 5th, as you can see, around the middle of the day, early part of the day, the moon then goes into Aquarius. And again, it is passed over Mercury as well. So the previous couple days on the 3rd and 4th, there's also intelligence and discrimination being developed because the moon has also joined Mercury as it's new. So on the 5th and 6th, the moon goes into Aquarius. Now Aquarius is ruled by Saturn as well, but it's not that internal psychological quality of Saturn. It's the external social, wanting to make the world a better place, wanting to commit to social causes and culture and things like that on the 5th and the 6th and into the 7th. The 5th, 6th, 7th, yeah. So, the moon's about 2.5 days in each sign, so every few signs it'll be about 3 days, calendar days. So 5th, 6th, and into the 7th, we'll have the moon in Aquarius, so it's literally about sort of your social structure, the people around you, and the larger causes that you want to support. Now we also have Mars change signs here on the 5th. So as you notice, on February 5th, Mars goes into Aries. So we'll have Mars in Aries for the next, 5 to 6 weeks, starting on February 6th. So that's going to be a major shift of courage, confidence, power, maybe arguing and battling a lot of the stuff we see, politically, socially, personally, might get to even more contentiousness February 6th as the moon goes into Aries. And I'm sorry, not the moon, Mars goes into Aries, excuse me. So the moon will be finishing that transit through Aquarius on the 6th and the 7th. So then on the 8th and the 9th, the moon is in Pisces, and it's going to be aspected by Jupiter, especially on the 9th. So again, February 8th and 9th, the moon in Pisces, very much about mysticism, metaphysical truth, higher connection to God consciousness and awareness and things that are not just of this earth. And so it's a great time to really connect with your teachers and your teachings, and in particular the universal teachings of the sort of metaphysical realm that's not just about our life on earth and the physical body. You see Jupiter is also aspecting, especially on February 9th. So that's in particular, that's a great day for your meditation and your spiritual practice and whatnot, and really honoring your teachers. Then on February 10th, 11th, and into the 12th, moon is in Aries. Now it's going to be join Mars, especially on the 10th. So again, February 10th, that could be a lot of intensity, and that capacity for arguing and battling could really come into our life on February 10th as the moon goes into Aries, and it'll be joined Mars, who is also in Aries. So resist that urge to fight and do battle with people over ideas, and instead do battle with larger principles, with your own insecurities and things like that. Have the courage to face yourself rather than project that onto others. But it's a good couple days for, becoming physically strong, physically powerful, working hard. And you see as I go through these, all this is changing. It's the 6th Tithi of the waxing moon. These are all things I talk about in my daily forecast. If you want to see how each one of these things change each day, that's what the daily forecasts are. And again, you get 2 weeks of daily forecast just for trying it for only 50 cents. And then if you want to stay a member, you can do that as well. But you see it, this is also Sunday, which is ruled by the sun. The nakshatra is Ashwini. All of these show the energy of the day. I'm just talking mainly about the moon in the sign and joined other planets, but all these other things are also important. So again, February 10th, moon in Aries and Ashwini, and join Mars, very much about that heat of, and that sort of passion for life that can get a little too out of hand, where we're too impatient and all that. And again, 10th and then 11th and the 12th, the moon is still mainly in Aries, so you want to keep those same things in mind with that transit on the 11th and 12th. You see the sun is also about to change. The sun is going to go into Aquarius on the 13th. So on the 13th, the moon is exalted, where it's going to be for the next couple of days, 13th and 14th, and the sun goes into Aquarius. So we see the shift from the sun in the sun in Capricorn into Aquarius. So this starts about a 30-day transit of the sun through Aquarius, which again now brings the sun, which is the consistent power, into that realm of social duty, social responsibility, and things like that. So that'll be important on February 13th and for the next month. And again, the 13th and the 14th, now we have the moon in Taurus. It's also getting aspected by Jupiter. Moon is exalted in Taurus because it's where the restless emotions and the mind settles down and relaxes. We can relax when the moon is in Taurus. We feel connected to family, to to consistent things that feel good, that we're able to receive and enjoy. So sink into that for the next couple days on February 13th and 14th with the moon in Taurus. Now, then on 15th, 16th, the moon is in Gemini, and it's going to be opposite this Saturn-Venus. Saturn and Venus are now very close in the sky, as you can see. They're getting right on top of each other. This can make that feeling of, not really enjoying our relationships too much, not really enjoying other people's company too much, not as much as we usually do. It's not just that it's Saturn-Venus, but they're also in Sagittarius, which again is about big, hopeful, inspiring things. So if we're around people that inspire us, like our teachers and our gurus, then that's okay. But our romantic partners and other people where we need to compromise with all the time, those relationships might not feel as satisfying and enjoyable on February 15th and 16th as the moon goes through Gemini because of that opposition. But the moon in Gemini on the 15th and 16th is good for feeling the importance of being flexible, being curious, communicating with others, not being stuck in your own sort of mindset and psychology, not being stuck in your own, fired up beliefs and whatnot. So Gemini is really about gathering more information, being more curious, being flexible, and, rather than just following your own opinions and your own beliefs. So besides that, it's, we have a lot of fun. It's good for communication. It's good for enjoying ourselves with people that we like. So February 15th and 16th will have those qualities to it. And then February 17th, 18th, the moon is in Cancer, and it's also going to be close to Rahu, especially on the 17th. 16th and 17th, later on the day on the 16th and into the 17th. So again, moon in Cancer. Now the moon is the ruler of Cancer, so it shows, a lot of emotions and really being connected to our feelings and to our heart and to our emotions. And again, so that's good for, being with your family, being with those who you love. Also, dealing with pets and others where you can give selfless love. But again, the conjunction with Rahu tends to conflate and exaggerate and distort. So you want to be aware of these kind of obsessive, distorted emotions on the 17th and the 18th, into the 16th as well. 16th, 17th, into the 18th. These will be important. And then with the February 19th, 20th, the moon is in Leo. And we're going to have the full moon this would be on the February 19th. We have the full moon, and this full moon is going to be in Leo. And again, the full moon is opposite the sun. So the sun is in Aquarius now, and the full moon is in Leo, which is opposite. So the sun in Aquarius is about sharing with the kingdom, sharing with the people, and the full moon in Leo now brings that energy toward our individuality and feeling and really sinking into that, glorious power of the self, that glorious power of our individuality. So we'll be feeling that for those 2 days on the 19th and the 20th. Again, particularly that full moon, when you join the member site, you have that analyzed not just in general, but for your sign as well, because it's of utmost importance whether these lunation cycles, especially these full moons and new moons, fall, which house they fall in. So if you're Gemini, this falls in your 3rd house, this full moon. If you're Pisces, it falls in your 6th house. These are totally different. So check that out. So again, 19th and 20th, the moon is in Leo, the glory of the self and our individual power, Try not to get too carried away with your ego and the sort of false center during those days. Then 21st and 22nd, moon is in Virgo. This is about organizing all the details of your kingdom, organizing all of the structures that you need to have around you in order to flourish and benefit. Again, Leo is the sign of the king and of the kingdom, but then we need to organize that in the most intelligent way in Virgo. All the different details become important. So on the 21st and 22nd, moon in Virgo will bring that kind of mindset, that sort of nature, where we're organizing things in the most intelligent way. February 23rd, 24th, and into the 25th, the moon is in Libra. Now that's about harmonizing our energy with others. That's about wanting to compromise, wanting to please others equal to ourselves. What we have is the opposition, though, with Mars. You see, Mars is opposite the moon, and this Mars opposition brings this this sort of battle that we're getting from other people. So as the moon is in Libra, Mars is in Aries, which is really sort of in contention with our individuality and another person's. So there could be some battles and struggles on the 23rd and 24th as the moon goes through Libra. You want to please others and accommodate others, but Mars is there in Aries aspecting, saying, so, you know, others might be really trying to suck you out of your, out of holding good boundaries. So again, Libra is about having equality, not being dominated by someone else or by having you dominate others. It's about the balance between the two. So then 25th, 26th, 27th, we have the moon in Scorpio, and it's joined Jupiter. So moon in Scorpio, this is the debilitated sign of the moon. It's because the emotions are restless, volatile, and we can feel easily triggered, suspicious, jealous. So be aware of those things. Try not to lash out and act through your lower impulses at that time. And instead, you know, try to maintain more, you know, balance in your interactions and have the emotional courage to face those difficulties. Now, the moon will be joined Jupiter during that time, and Jupiter is the great teacher, the great guru. So there's high teachings and higher wisdom coming to your aid at this time. So fall back on your teachings and your teachers and be inspired by the wisdom you've gained throughout life rather than just being triggered. And in February 28th, the moon joins Saturn in Sagittarius, where it started. And as you see, it takes the moon 28 days. And in this 28 days, it comes back to where it was at the beginning, 27 to 28 days. And we're back in Sagittarius, early degrees in Mula Nakshatra. So we start again with this inspired, hopeful sign of Sagittarius at the end of February. By now, we also see that Mercury has gone into Pisces, where he's in his debilitated sign. So that's also something that you'll have to consider when, you know, at the end of the month, Mercury goes into Pisces. So we might be feeling a little fuzzy on the details, and instead be wanting to connect with, you know, things in a less precise way. So it's good for creativity and whatnot, but we might fuzzy the details a little bit. So that's generally February 2019. And again, if you want to see how this will work each day, every day, specifically, you can try it for 2 weeks and then just keep going. If you like it, you also get specific forecasts for your sign on the lunation cycles on the new and full moons. So anyway, have a great February 2019.